Yeah, what's up, guys? Back at it again, Yululu Koshe. Honestly, didn't expect to be making a video today, but look, such is the nature of the industry, the sports industry. Breaking news can hit you any minute, and that's why we're here right now. And true to my promise of being driven by spontaneity, this video has occurred. Breaking news hit, I make the video, the passion has driven me to this point. Kakade ke kangesixhosa isixhosa sitsho ke bangafika uyitshayisa qhuma into yaqona. Screw lads might interpret that as we want all the smoke, yabo. Yeah, man, look, all jokes aside, it's a serious thing that we gotta talk about. Look, over the course of an hour or so now, there was breaking news that hit with regards to Chelsea Football Club as well as Juventus Football Club. Look, Juventus put out a statement, confirming the signing of Maurizio Sarri as their coach, which subsequently means that he has departed Chelsea after a year at the Stamford Bridge Arena, or stadium, or whatever they call it, but Stamford Bridge, yeah. So yeah, for me, I just wanted to gather what your thoughts are about his 1 year stint. Particularly the Chelsea fans, this might hit home the most for them. I wanted to hear your thoughts of his 1 year stint at the club. How did you feel about it? Did you feel it did enough? Do you have grievances? And so forth. So I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about it. But as I wait for your thoughts, I'm gonna go ahead and give you what I feel, my thoughts on the whole matter, Sarri's stint at Chelsea. I think for me, first and foremost, I seem to have got a lot of negative thoughts, negative energy, negative vibes, just plain negative vibes from the vast majority of Chelsea football club supporters I've encountered on various social media, sports social media channels, blogs, websites, Facebook pages, you name it. Most of the comments regarding Maurizio Sarri have been rather negative. Even in my personal space, I know a couple of Chelsea fans who I might speak to on WhatsApp and so forth. They are not, they don't really have anything glowing to say about Maurizio Sarri, and I do sympathize with them. I really do sympathize with their sentiments with regards to Maurizio Sarri. Throughout his 1 year stint at Chelsea, he has seemed to be a much maligned figure. His decisions have been rather questionable and none more dubious for me than switching the world's best holding midfielder, which is, for me at least, N'Golo Kante. For me, I think that decision didn't really help his cause, and yeah, I think it didn't really help to endear him to the hearts of the Chelsea supporters. So, with that in mind, he's also been rather predictable. He's been rather rigid in his approach for the club. In terms of the football on the pitch, he has a set system that never changes. I think even in Italy, at his old club in Naples, with Napoli, he did the same thing, and everyone, including the Chelsea hierarchy, apparently everyone knew that this is just how it operates and it won't change. You know what I'm saying? But they stuck with him. But they appointed him, sorry. So I can't complain too much on that side, and I can't really give Chelsea supporters a leg to stand on because the hierarchy at the club knew the tactical, seemingly limited tactical approach that he brings to a club and a team's approach, but then they still believed he had the correct tactical acumen and the correct coaching prowess to come into the club and help the team progress and move forward. And he had previously done very well in Italy at Napoli, so it sort of does justify the decision to give him the chance to come to the Premier League and see if he can, away from the bullies. I call them the bullies of Italian football, Juventus, because they win the league every season, and they just really don't have competition. They buy the best players, just to keep them from any of their closest competitors who don't seem to be that close anyway. So yeah, that was probably the only reason that stopped Maurizio Sarri from being a success in Italy in terms of winning silverware. But he was widely recognized as a person who knows how to improve players and knows how to get the best out of a certain team and players in the team and just improve a club. Simple as that. But so there was hope that he would come in at Chelsea and he would do a similar job. But yeah, he seemed to be a lot more rigid, too rigid for the Premier League. I guess the Premier League has got so many coaches of different ilk, different tacticians of the game. You have to really be working overtime to survive as a coach in the Premier League. The coaching in itself as a profession is an unforgiving one. So them coaches in the Premier League, they really don't sleep. You know what I'm saying? They know that three bad losses on the trot and it's unemployment for them, unfortunately. So for him, Maurizio Sarri really was too predictable for me. There's just certain things you knew about Chelsea before the game even kicked off. You knew it was going to be 4-4-3. You knew that he was gonna take off Kovacic for Barkley. If Barkley starts, he was gonna come off for Kovacic. If Ruben Loftus-Cheek did start, he was gonna come off one of those two as well. Vice versa all the time. And you knew that Pedro was gonna come on for Willian or Willian for Pedro. Just certain things about the club, about the team on the pitch that just didn't shock you. As a coach of the opposition, you just know that you're going to face a 4-4-3 and you just got to guess who's going to start in one of the midfield positions because there's two that are going to start, Angola Kante and Jorginho. And then you just have to guess who's going to start between Willian and Pedro up until later in the season that Hudson Odoi made a claim for one of the spots on the wing. So yeah, fortunately, for him at the start of the reign. He was getting positive results. I don't think he lost a game in the first couple of games leading up to the first international break. It took a long time for him to suffer a first defeat at Chelsea, and rightfully so. I think a lot of Chelsea fans might have felt that they've got one, and I was, to be honest, as a spectator of football, thinking Chelsea have themselves a good coach here. You know what I'm saying? But as the season wore on, his frailties started to expose themselves. You know what I'm saying? And the whole decision to play. Look, Jorginho is sort of like his son. He brought him into English football from Napoli, where they had a good working relationship. So Jorginho is like his lieutenant on the pitch. He knows how Sarri ball works. So I can't fault him too much for starting off his reign with the person that he trusts and the person that he believes can relay his tactical acumen from his head to the pitch, because that's what he had been planning to do from the start when he took him from Napoli to England, Chelsea. So for me, that's okay. Football coaches, just like Stuart Baxter in the example I made, coaches themselves have favorites, and it's okay because you've got to use the people that you trust. Because in more cases than not, they got you to where you are. You know what I'm saying? To where you are. I'm sorry. So yeah, I can't fault him too much for going with Jorginho initially. I think he owes him that as well because part of the negotiations for me would be like, listen, I'll bring you in here and I'll give you the confidence and give you the chance to gain your confidence in the English Premier League. You have to trust me. I will play you because City wanted him and he was almost a done deal for City. So it only has to be a promise from an old coach that you know very well. You know that I will play you. I will give you the chance that you deserve. Come join me. Let's do what we did in Italy, but with possibly better squad of players, bigger money, and a better chance to win silverware. Which is enticing to me. Not even being Jorginho, but I think that's enticing to be honest with you. So yeah, but the only problem with me about that is that when it didn't work, and clearly there were stages where it just wasn't working out, he stuck to that. And Chelsea, as a football club on the field, suffered the consequences of that. He was suffering abuse from the fans as well, but he stuck to that as well. You know what I'm saying? He stuck to his guns. I don't know if that's stubbornness or he just believes in himself and he believes in the setup and he believes that it will eventually yield results. You will decipher which one of the two that is. You know what I'm saying? But he suffered from that, and so did Chelsea. I think that's where things started to go wrong for him. He lost the belief from the fans because they just couldn't understand some of his tactical decisions. And they really were sort of preposterous. I mean, you can't take the world's. Look at N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante came to the Premier League as a defensive midfielder for Leicester City. He wins the league for them in that position. That's where his claim to fame started, as a holding midfielder with three lungs. In inverted commas, they say that guy has three lungs. So that's what gained him favor. That's what earned him the move to Chelsea. He goes to Chelsea. He plays the same holding midfield role, and what happens? Makes the team a Premier League winning team. Again, in the season that they didn't win the Premier League, he was still in the defensive holding midfielder. They got the FA Cup. Now, maybe Sarri could defend that and say, okay, even in this instance, I put him away from this holding midfield position, but still, I got the Europa League Cup. You know what I'm saying? But then I still feel as if